Well, it says I'm live. I don't know if I'm really live or not. I think my video manager told me or didn't really like the idea of me going live right now. But I wanted to test this out and actually go over some of the changes and actually interact with some of you guys. This is going to be something I'm going to be doing more frequently on this channel, which previously, I think when I first started this channel, I called it Lister Pros because that's my real estate photography company. And we basically been making the same content since the beginning of the channel. So then a couple years after that, I just changed it to Jordan Nielsen because I'm pretty much the only one that posts or makes all the content for this channel or in the creator. But now I'm changing it up again and actually taking the I guess audience a little bit not more serious. I've always had a passion for real estate photography since I started over 10 years or almost 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years this year. I started December 2013. So anyways, so changing the channel again, like I said, it's going to be going from Jordan Nielsen to Real Estate Photography Hub. And it's going to be more than just a YouTube channel. It's honestly a movement. It's going to be a movement, a community. And, I feel very passionate about this, is just helping new real estate photographers, existing real estate photographers. And so that's going to be built out completely over the next month or so. And actually, let me see if I can see comments. All right, I have a comments field here, so I just want to make sure I'm not going to miss you guys if I do so. So anyways, where was I at? So yeah, it'll be realestatephotographyhub.com is going to be that, but it's going to be primarily communication on Discord, our Discord server. I've been using Discord for a long time. But anyways, you can join. That is completely free. Ask your questions. And, honestly, I'm creating it so there's a place for all kinds of real estate photographers to go and communicate and ask their questions and get feedback on their photos. And it's going to be an awesome little place where you can go and get better at real estate photography, especially if you're new or even if you're existing. Maybe you're struggling with your business and need some ideas. You can drop your questions there, and we can throw out some ideas. Obviously, maybe some of you guys might not know my story, but I started as a solo real estate photographer in 2013, and then I've grown it. Last year we're exceeded 100 team members and a whole lot of markets. Since then, we've kind of scaled it back a little bit, but so multi-million-dollar per year. I think last year, I'd have to look at the numbers again, somewhere around 3.6, so almost 4 million this is real estate photography business. I'm not a course seller. I don't really I do have some courses, but I don't really sell, or it's not really a priority of mine to make necessarily a bunch of money from that. My main thing is my main thing is my business, Lister Pros, right? So, we've gone into multiple markets and we have a whole lot of contractors that work for us. So there's going to be some opportunity as we continue to expand in the future. But anyways, I got a couple likes here, so I know that you guys leave a comment. Actually, I need a test to see if the comments thing works. Where's my oh, here we go. Let's go. Hey, that's the video manager, right? Fry. See, we're getting it going. So, anyways, let me see. There's a couple other things. Actually, while I'm on here, I just got this yesterday. I'll probably make a video on it. But Godox finally. So, if you really know me, I can jump around from topic to topic. So I was just talking about the new platform, but I'm going to talk about this for a second. Godox finally did it. You've probably seen some of my trigger videos where I just haven't been very fond of their triggers, because you can't go from using the pins, which can, or I guess TTL mode, especially when you're shooting real estate photography. So the problem with using those triggers is that it only trigger one photo at a time. You can't do bam, 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 3 brackets. So I take those off, you can only use the manual. But this one, you can turn off the pins and go the single pin. I think it's kind of pricey. They had a coupon. I think I bought it for like 70 or 80 bucks. But man, to not have to customize and be able to use TTL when you want to, or go manual. I think maybe they saw my previous videos how I was customizing their things because it was really annoying for real estate photography. Maybe they did it for real estate photography. Who knows? I doubt it. But I'm sure there are more than just me complaining about that or customizing it. All right. Anyway, so that's a trigger. Oh, also, what I'm going to be working on Real Estate Photography Hub is a podcast / show. I'll probably do live shows interviewing maybe other YouTube real estate photographers and you guys that are real estate photographers that may not even have a YouTube channel, just talking about your journey in real estate photography, where you're at, talk about your struggles, where some things that are going well for you, and pretty much all things just real estate photography on that channel. So we're working on, that'll be syndicated throughout, but I might just do the interviews live on YouTube is what I'm thinking. So anyways, that's something to expect. So my face and my icon is going away. Actually, that's already been changed. I changed that. The name still shows Jordan Nilsson because I got to wait 13 days to change that. So that will be changing too. So everything will be branded Real Estate Photography Hub. Let's see. Oh, also, I've been pretty much putting out daily videos, and I think I'm going to continue to do that, but I'm going to do it in a different format. I'll be answering your questions, or a lot more maybe on the Discord channel and or YouTube Shorts, like the short version, because and then the videos that we post, I'll still be answering some questions as video posts, but a lot of them will just be categorized under YouTube Shorts or be in that format, like a shorter question. So anyways, that's it. I probably will be talking about I think on this channel I'll always just pretty much stay on the realm of real estate photography and in that world. But there are other topics that I would like to talk about, but I'll probably be doing that on another channel or something. So if I do, for those that don't know, actually everybody doesn't know, I had a hair transplant like 5 months ago. I think I wanted to share a little bit about that. I'm not really embarrassed by it or whatever, but maybe you guys are interested. Anyways, I wanted to, just random stuff like that. You guys can probably say it doesn't look very good, but it's still early on. They say it takes about 8 months. I think I did it back in September. So anyways, let's see. I think that is pretty much all the things that I wanted to touch on this. Obviously, in the future, I'm going to be scheduling them out further in advance and probably optimizing the time where people can join and ask their questions. Or you guys can ask your questions, but on this, I'll be interviewing or talking with somebody else on this format. And you guys can give your ideas and suggestions if you had. I got a suggestion, I think yesterday, that somebody said, you need to change your thumbnails. Well, those are already being changed. I'm not going to go back and change, but we're basically going to put more effort, emphasis, and just be a little bit more organized on many aspects of this business. So anyways, that's it. Yeah, I think that's it today. Actually, there's 5 people with chat. There's 5 people watching. So if you guys have questions, leave them. I'll answer them, or I'll cut this short. Maybe I'll go for 10 minutes. Maybe I'll just talk about some random stuff like something about real estate photography. I titled, Real Estate Photography Hub, like the slogan or whatever it's already on there. Crush your goals in real estate photography, and that's my goal, to help others, and that's been my goal, because there's been struggles, man. When I left the corporate business. I was making a good salary as a bank manager, and then I left to buy properties for a hedge fund, and that dried up. Freaking had to go on food stamps to make ends meet, and it was tough. And then I started Lister Pros. At the time I was like, man, it'd just be easier to go back and get my salary that I was getting before, because I didn't leave on bad terms. But I really decided to double down on myself and just go on it. But anyways, the business has been an evolution, right? It's just different goals pretty much every year. And as the years go by, you'll be surprised, like if you have these goals in the back of your head, like how will you do them? But it's all about, for me, just doing daily work, daily progress towards your goals, whatever your goal might be in real estate photography, or you might have some personal finance goals. You want to get out of debt. That was one of my goals. So I think initially when I started, paid off, I think we had some student loans, and then, initially in the business, it's just all reinvesting. But yeah, there's goals, my dream car, I was able to, which is a R35 GTR, which I bought last year. Another dream of mine was to pay off our house, and I was able to do that as well last year. And for me, I'm not passionate about making money. It's just something that happens along the way as you just work and just focus on making those daily efforts. I was not making hardly any money for 3 or 4 years, because I knew where I wanted the business to go, and I was willing to sacrifice, those short-term things for long-term success, I guess you would say. So I do have nice things, cars and stuff like that, but that doesn't make me happy. For me, what makes me happy is, I like cars, but you can say you want to buy this car, but you get it and it's not like, oh my gosh, it's the newness kind of wears off for a while. But for me, I like having my freedom. I like being able to go on all my kids. I have 4 boys, for those that don't know. I've been married for, since 2016. 2006. My wife would kill me if she told me that. 2006. But yeah, just spending time with my family, man. That's something that I'm passionate about, and just really strive. So I work hard so that I can actually have that, that flexibility to be able to do those things that I want, hang out with my family and be present for my kids, go on field trips and stuff, which I do have a field trip going to the zoo in a couple weeks. But anyways, that's randomness. There's no further questions. I'm almost to 15 minutes. I said I was going to do 15 minutes. It's a little hard just talking to yourself. Unless I had a list of questions people had, I could just answer them live, which actually maybe I could just pull one up from YouTube right now from a video. Let me look at the comments real quick, and I'll answer one, and then that'll put us at 15 minutes, unless you guys want to comment one. All right, let's see here. Comments. Here's one recent from yesterday. I just picked up the 12 to 24 F4 for a job last week, and it worked quite well. I couldn't justify getting the 2.8 at the time because the 2.8 is $3,000. And actually, that's probably Ann Farai's favorite. He's our video manager, but it is an incredible lens for real estate video. For photos, I like the 16 to 35, but the F2 or 2.8, 12 to 24 is a phenomenal lens. Hey, we got a question. Andy G, here we go. All right, so I'm going to skip that one. We're going to focus on who's actually watching the video. All right, when you started out, did you start your LLC or anything prior? Did you just go and find clients and start shooting and build along the way? Yeah, when I started out, it was just a sole prop. Actually, it was a sole prop doing business as Lister Pros, right? So I didn't have an LLC when I started. This isn't legal advice on when you start. You just don't want to complicate things too much before you need to, right? As I started to grow, I think maybe after the first year is when I switched to the business structure LLC, and then as like taxed as an S corporation LLC, whatever. And that's what it is today. So when I left the bank, I was buying properties for a hedge fund. And actually, while I was working at the bank, I got my real estate license, and I was showing properties on the weekends because I was interested in it, because I had some clients that came in and they had good bank balances, but it was a property management, and I didn't realize at the time that wasn't even his money, really. That's other people's money. So I had contacts in the real estate because I was a real estate agent. And I was actually a practicing real estate agent when I started Lister Pros, because when you start your business, you got to have some other revenue source. Like at the time I had 3 kids. My wife didn't work. Anyway, so I had to bridge that gap. So I did some real estate transactions my first year as I was shooting as well. So I'm still a licensed real estate agent. I just do my own deals from time to time. But I think it's, it helps me to understand what real estate is all about, what real estate agents really care about from that perspective. But did you go and so finding clients, I remember at the beginning, like I was willing to do anything and everything. So a lot of the practice that I was doing back in 2014, which is when I was really going hard, it all stems back based on the basic business principle, right? When you start your business, you got to get out of obscurity. You could start a business, have the best intention, but if nobody knows what the heck you're doing, then you're not going to survive, right? So I sent out, back then, I was able to download lists of real estate agent emails, and I blasted a bunch. I didn't care about getting flagged or whatever. Same thing with like Facebook. I Facebook friend requested so many, and I found ways to add value to them. I gave them their stack ranking, said congratulations on being ranked number whatever. But on my profile page, it showed what I did and whatever. So that just kind of helped to get awareness without just being a sales pitch out there, right? So add value, and then they'll eventually see. And so I did that for a while. I hit the max. I actually haven't been active on social media. YouTube is really the only thing that I do. I'm not a fan of the scroll. I don't do Facebook. I stopped that I think my last posts were in 2016. Or no, sorry. Definitely not. It's got to be later than that. Yeah, Instagram, I probably stopped 2016, 2017. Anyways, just to stay focused, because that stuff can just make your time just go away. And everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, so how can you get more done in a 24-hour period? That's the key to business success, really, is just moving all those distractions. And that's why I have a team, but I don't work with anybody. Like, for me, I know I'm most productive when I'm working by myself, just focused on things. So I work here from home, even though I have an office, which I was able to pay for with cash. It's only 5 minutes from my house. When did I buy that? I bought it in 2019, I think. So what was the business? 6 months? I was just tired of paying rent way far out, and that was something. But anyways, I'm a cash operator, and I think there's going to be, that's just how I like, we run on cash. We have no debt. Same with a business. It's just, for me, it's a way to live a little bit more or less stressful. I don't have to worry about, am I going to make this payment? Literally, all the fleet cars, all the cars I own, all paid off. Our main house is paid off. I have a second home up north. That one is not. I bought that one a couple years ago, but I don't owe a whole bunch on that. And I plan on paying that off. I guess that's really the only other financial goal I could do. Anyways, that's kind of going too off topic. So anyways, so find clients, start shooting, then you just build your client base, right? This is pretty much, one by one. That first email blast, sorry, I went off on a tangent there for a while, but my first email blast, I got like 2 people, and at those times they wanted to meet with me because I was a solo guy. I was by myself doing signpost installation, lockboxes, doing a full service, comparable to another company that was kind of the main company in our market. So I wanted to make it apples to apples for an easy transition for customers, right? So, yes. So, I landed a couple big brokerages where I was servicing all of their listings in that brokerage and another team that performed really well. But the key to business growth, and it doesn't matter, like you can do all these activities and get customers, but the key is your customer experience. Because knowing our analytics on our business, over 50% of our new customers come from referrals. And the only way they come from referrals is by delivering a great customer experience. And that's pretty much what we focus on. We had like a sales team of 5 individuals. The customer acquisition cost was just really high, so we did away with that and doing it a little bit different. So anyways, I can't even give away real estate photography free. No one's selling homes. I mean, I don't know. There's always transactions going on. Depends on the market area that you service, too. Yeah. From my experience, what I've noticed, we have a good amount of clients. So I see the trends, right? Like rates are starting to go up. People are willing to spend more money on marketing to try to move their houses. When COVID hit, we had a big spike in Matterports. And right now, we're kind of more back to a normal, even though it's, rates are high. I feel like we're in a normal year from pre-COVID, if that makes sense, from what agents are willing to spend on their listings. Because over the last couple of years, when properties are flying off the market, agents aren't investing too much. There are those customers that, hey, this is what we offer. This is a value that we offer as to you as real estate agents to our homeowners. So, they're going to invest in those photos and videos and not just photos, but if you look on the MLS, which I looked at it, you could see like a bunch of iPhone photos, not a whole bunch because, professional photos they're relatively inexpensive and like you still want to look like a competent real estate agent as a real estate agent, right? Let me just finish up Andy G's question. So start shooting, building along the way. Yes, that's what it is. You get a couple good ones, make sure they're happy. Dude, I'm telling you, I remember like no vacations, going like working. I have pictures of myself editing photos late at night, 1:00. We had a newborn, a younger child. I guess that was one born in 16, one born in 12. So like being up with kids, editing photos, making sure that I deliver on those things. I never let any excuses to not deliver for our customers is the biggest thing, right? No excuses. So putting a flag in the ground saying, you know what, this is what we stand for. This is what we're going to deliver. And then for me, that's instilled in my team. Like we don't show up late for appointments. We don't when they order 3-hour delivery, we deliver before 3 hours, and we have checks and balances in our system to make sure that happens. So anyways, here we go. Hey, Archimen Studio, here we go. Asked a question, and I've answered some of your questions, so thanks for joining. It says, hey, Jordan, maybe make a video about planning for retirement, not buying real estate, because that's the obvious answer. Yeah. I mean, I think there's all those traditional things about retirement. I think from my perspective, you got to kind of find something that works for you. I have paid off properties that produce rental income. But that's not necessarily a retirement plan, and right now it's kind of, which is weird. Like, yeah, I don't really know, I'm not a financial advisor. You can talk to a financial advisor. They're going to give you those same questions, 401k, or an IRA or retirement accounts. But for me, I put some money in the stock market and I just watched it go down, down, down. And it almost is, for me, okay, this is going to be my answer, right? You're going to get way more return by investing in yourself than putting it in a company where it's just based on public perception. Like, if your business isn't where it needs to be, dude, start buying books, invest in yourself. Not necessarily work harder, because that's just such a, whatever. Put in the time, effort, and energy into your business. Spend time fine-tuning, all the aspects. My business is far from perfect, but it, we're always evolution. I think that's, businesses is just solving problems and finding solutions for customers, right? I think, just for me, I'm not a huge fan of those cliche answers. Oh, just invest in what everybody does. I'm not a big fan of just doing what everybody does. Figure out yourself. What do you like? Anyway, sorry. Maybe that's not, but let's go back. Thanks for your question, Archiman Studio. Let's see. Jiffer, I can't even give, that one. Oh, here we go. He responded again. Recession is keeping people still with their money. Also, the price of goods are way high. You are right. There are reasons why people aren't. From our business perspective, we have a good client base, so we can see massive trends. And the trend isn't like now we're doing 50% less. It might be less than last year, but not by much. You always have that seasonality, at least here. We experience it. November, December, January, about mid-January starts to come to life. Those 3 months, I'm probably not too happy to be around, because I always want to make sure that my business is in a winning position. So when I take some losses or negatives, like I see account balances going down, it just doesn't sit well with me. So then it doesn't really matter how much money you have. It's just you want your business to always be performing, and it's not. So you deal with seasonality. There's always ups and downs. And I'll tell you, man, I think it was 2018 where I had we service large companies, and we had one that owed us $300K or something like that. And it was starting to get where we made over $1 million that year. But I'm going to have to cash in some of my retirement, which was a backup plan when I first started in year 2018, because of this, and I made it. I said I'm never gonna let that happen again. I remember how stressed I was trying to figure out. Okay, business is really an easy equation, right? You got expenses, you got revenue, you got expensive, and you got profitability. You got to manage your equation how you see fit. So yeah, man. It's just some stressful stuff, but here we go. All right, we can actually see a 50% cut in business based off our numbers. Yeah, that's pretty high. Jiffer, if you don't mind me asking, where are you? I don't know if there's a delay in this or not, but I'm curious as to what market you're based in. But anyways, let me jump, while you get to that, I'm going to jump up to Andy G. Do you think that the real estate photography market is too saturated with new businesses? I don't think so. There's always competition. Like when I started, there was competition, right? Maybe it was newer back then, so maybe there's less. But even today, if I was starting a real estate photography business, I could find success. It's all about business strategy, how you're going to, it's the same game, right? even though like maybe, and we still have a small market share. Like there's tons of real estate. It's not like we dominate the markets we're in. Like we do well, but we're not doing over 50% of, we're not doing like crazy numbers. But anyways, so you just look at the opportunity, look on Zillow, say like, how many new listings are coming in the market? Who are those agents? Like if I was in a position where like, man, Minnesota, you know what? I will tell you that snowy places like Minnesota, I think they experience more of a slowdown or more seasonality than, because one of my students is from Alaska and he was talking to me about that, and I was trying to compare. Like here in Arizona, like we have good weather year round. It's extremely hot in the summertime, so we got to stay hydrated a lot, but we don't have snow covering houses and people not wanting to list. I think a lot of people want to list summer or springtime in those areas when it looks the best and when people are moving. But yeah, in another video, I can go over trends and kind of look at like, I don't know how long you've been in business, Jiffer, but can go over trends, like what our seasonality looks like, anyways. So Minnesota. All right, but I didn't answer Andy's question. Do I think, so I was talking about that, but I definitely don't think that real estate photography is too saturated with new businesses. There might be a lot of people that start, I think 95% of businesses or whatever that statistic is, they never make it to year 5, right? So if you're willing to make the required sacrifices, you can definitely find success. Like we've literally tried everything. We have some like brokerage deals that are very profitable. We had some that were not, so we cut those out. So there's so many ways to get clients, one-on-one emails, like all kinds of activities work, but I would just ask the question is, have you met every single real estate agent in your market? Even if it's a smaller market, do you know every single agent by name? Do they know who you are? If not, I would reach out, like say, I'm going to spend 4 hours today and I'm going to contact, 400 or maybe not that many, 200 real estate agents in this area. So go on, find out who's actually listing houses. Don't just do random real estate agents, because a lot of them might just be buyer's agents or something. So if you find the real estate agents, a lot of times you can Google them. Their contact information is right, available. Phone numbers, you can give them a call, email them. There's anyways, a lot of ways that, like, there's tons of activities you can do. And what is this? $200. Okay, here we go. The issue with photography is anyone can do it. It's no longer takes a special skill set to do it. 10 years ago, it took a very special person with equipment to do something. Now, $200. This is true, and I think it's all about embracing technology for me, man. I'm like looking at ChatGPT as how can I use it as a tool to help leverage, right? So things become easier, but then there's the thing that normal people are willing to do, and then there's that thing that you're willing to go beyond, right? So maybe, or use the tools to your advantage. Like drones are cheap and they're really easy to fly. They have long battery lives. Like you got to make an offer to people that is still profitable to you, but that is irresistible. I don't know what that is. Free drone photos or whatever. We do random offers to people to get them to try us, and we're confident when people give us a try, we have a pretty good retention rate because people like the experience they get. So that's all it is about, getting people in the door. What that experience is pretty much is your business going to make it or not? Like, what is your customer experience? This is about business. This isn't about real estate photography, honestly. This same conversation is going like what makes you different? Like, how are you better? Like, what are those things? Like, and cheaper is not always the right answer, right? Like, Is your product better value? Is your service better? Like, what is your customer looking for? Do they want somebody to show up in a suit? We go out in mostly t-shirts most of the time. We have collared and button downs and stuff like that. But you know what differentiates you in your market? And then the value thing. I've tried a whole lot of different things on the value realm of things. I've created different program sites. Elite Agent was one of them, just off the top of my head. But yeah, ChatGPT is great. Still testing it out myself, but oh my gosh, yeah. So if you do like a service that we offer is MLS entry. So if we can, you can write property descriptions much faster with that, and it really just makes you more productive. Yeah. Like soon they're going to come out with something, a camera where you just snap it and it gives you phenomenal, so for example, right, the iPhone, this thing takes great photos, but it's not like usable for real estate photography yet, just right out of it. I think probably within 5 years, a real estate agent could use their phone to take probably about standard quality as what you're getting today from real estate photographers. So at that point, you got to think, okay, what value do you bring to the table? Do you enhance the customer experience between agent and client? Do you make them look more professional? Is your composition so good? Like there's that standard base. So maybe what our photos are today, iPhone, and then there's always like a gap between like, okay, this is what they can produce on their own, but what can we do that's greater, that makes our value, right? Because as a business, right, you get paid for bringing value to the marketplace, and that applies to real estate photography, that applies to whatever, a used car salesman or whatever. Yeah, some dealerships are, in some towns there's one on every single corner. Like is your buying experience better? Like, it's not just real estate photography, it's just business in general, is the point I'm trying to make about it. So anyways, here we go. Let's see. We lost tons of clients because their brokerage actually created their own service. Yeah. Services when they can pay a full-time photographer $40K a year. Yeah, actually, that's happened to us a couple times. And we've had people take some of our employees and hire them, and then they run it. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. Like, we've probably lost a good amount, some of our biggest clients, but life goes on. Like, I don't sit there and think about, oh my gosh, we just lost 5%, because no, we keep rolling. Like, I'm going to go get more. Like, it's always more. And I've had, people leave and take a bunch of clients. This has happened several times. Now I changed my business strategy, or we changed our business strategy at Lister Pros, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And now we don't experience those problems anymore. So, but they can pay photographer $40K a year. But on that topic, so we had one that went full internal, but then I don't know what it was. I think their quality was pretty good. Maybe our service was just much better, or our turnaround, maybe that person got overwhelmed, they couldn't stay on top of it, because that customer comes back and is ordering more than they were before. I think they got rid of it, or anyways, there's so some businesses want to manage it internally, or and I think it's becoming more and more common with teams doing that if they're creating more, having like a media person on their team to do like social media stuff and taking videos and stuff. But maybe they're not. Yeah, I guess they can do the real estate thing, but what makes you different? If that makes sense for some teams to do that, fine. So you're not going to retain all customers, but you got to look at yourself. Okay, why did that happen? What does that make sense for them? $40K, they're spending $40K. What's the percent of the, what they're doing? Anyways, you just kind of got to look yourself in the mirror and figure out, do I need to make changes in my business? Basically to compete, to be competitive in the marketplace, right? And then competitive in the market doesn't always mean cheapest price. It means like Do I need to start doing drone photos for cheap or throwing them in? It takes an extra 10 minutes out there in a property. I can throw up my drone. I didn't pay too much for it. Like drone photos is one you can throw in. It's just value, right? It's just a time exchange. You go out to there for the property and provide services. And so can you add a services like vertical video, like what services can you offer that person's not doing, or what can you add to make it more enticing? Like for example, Rico Tours, right? I think we pay $500 a month, or sorry, $500. Wow, that would be expensive. $500 a year, and you can do unlimited 3D scans, right? And you can do it. We offered it for free for a long time. I think we charged, I don't know, $40 for it or something like that. But we threw it in for a long time, so it's just like that added value, and it only take an extra 10 minutes. And we're not paying like our Matterport account. We pay a lot of money. You're not paying per model, so that would be an option. There's a lot of different options. Just kind of look yourself in the mirror and kind of figure out, all right, what am I offering? How can I make our offers more appealing? And a lot of it would be like, how can I make our experience better? Are we showing up late? Are we professional? Are we inviting? Do we always ask like, is there anything specific at the property that you want us to focus on? Do you smell good going into the properties? We've had that problem in the past too. Like we've had some employees that would come in and there's not like literally not shower and it smell. We could smell them in the office, so we know that the customers are smelling them at properties. And a couple of them reached out. We're like, oh my gosh, can you tell this guy? That is a problem because you might lose a customer and never come back. And it was nothing that you can like control the controllable is all I'm saying. So we had, I guess, not so fun conversations with those individuals, but yeah. All right, another starting out question. How did you invoice your clients when your first client? So when I first started, I think super small and simple. I think I was using this didn't last very long, maybe a month or something. I was using PayPal for invoices and creating things back then, I think, if I can remember. But the first system that I transitioned to, which made life a lot easier and wasn't too expensive, is FreshBooks. That was like a cheaper QuickBooks. Now we use QuickBooks. QuickBooks works well. We have an API link with our website, and it makes it so much easier to use it. But I will tell you, if you guys aren't familiar with a site called AppSumo, I'm one that doesn't like to pay a lot of monthly fees. Like there's some services that you got to pay whatever per month. I don't like it. I would rather just buy and have, right? Lifetime access. AppSumo.com. I've so many pieces of software, like lifetime deals for relatively cheap. So anyways, somebody mentioned that to me. I was at a party or something and somebody said, hey, have you checked out AppSumo? And no. But since then, that's one tool, one place that I go where you can spend and then you get lifetime access to certain things. Anyways, just use it. I think you're talking about Aryeo. Aryeo's, I've tested Aryeo as well. Aryeo is a great platform. It has a lot of features to it, and it's got a great UI. The problem is if you're just starting out, it's pretty expensive. I think right now, if I'm not mistaken, I think their entry-level package starter is like $50 a month. So it might be worth it, but it's only like maybe 10 or something. You have to check it out. I'm just not a big fan of because at the end of the year, you got to look at your balance sheet and be like, okay, maybe I spent $200 a month, but over a year, $2,400, like a lot of fees. That might not be practical for somebody that's starting out that has literally no money. They need to get all their money and reinvest it in their business. So you got to keep it super simple. But yeah, freaking PayPal, definitely not now. But yeah, there are these all-in-one platforms that make starting your real estate photography business much easier, like Aryeo. Yeah. All right. Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of different options. Hold on a second. I was talking to a student about it not too long ago. They use, I think, HD Photo Hub. He tested Ario. Anyways, so depending on your business, yeah, here's another one, but I'm not going to recommend that. I think it's called HD Photo Hub. So anyways, there's several options out there. Yeah. Anyways, how long have I? See, 15 minutes. See, I committed to 15 minutes, but then you get me talking about real estate photography, and 30 minutes later, we're at 45 minutes. I could just go on here. All right, everything. All right. I'm going to go for 1 hour. I'm going to be breaking records here. All right, let's see. Yeah, Andy's giving some pretty good insight here. I'm going to scroll back up here in the comments. You're probably trying to follow Zillow. In my opinion, I don't think a well-seasoned real estate photographer will go for that. Might be a good starting. Yeah, PayPal's terrible. I would not recommend. Hold on. Did you take cash? Okay, another starting. Okay. Actually, this is a good question because, yeah, that's another problem you run into as a business owner is people not paying their invoices, right? So 99% of the customers, we capture the card information up front, and then we charge their card using Stripe. We use Stripe. I think Stripe is, they just charge per transaction, right? So, yeah, you can sign up for Stripe and collect cards and then, yeah, process payments after the fact. So those are we use QuickBooks. You know, the QuickBooks, like, will generate invoices. So if they pay with a system-generated invoice, it'll just go through the QuickBooks process or merchant services. But, yeah, Stripe is our primary one. It's just a great platform. I just think they always, everybody's just trying to always tick up their fees. Did you ever take cash? No. No cash. Yeah, all card pretty much. That's just basically just a cost of doing business. It's like 3.5%. Everything we shoot comes with free drone photos. Jiffer says, yeah, I'm not going to give any more recommendations on that on your business, Jiffer, just because you got to, there's probably an angle, right? It's just sit down and do analysis, service, products, pricing, yeah, and just try to figure that one out, and then do comparisons, right? Okay, here's competitor that's very successful. Here's us, not very successful. What makes us different? Product, quality, our offerings. Do they offer, whatever? It could be all sorts of things. So anyways, so yeah, you're just going to have to figure that one out. We cut all of our 3D virtual tours because our analytics from Matterport showed houses only got viewed for 20 seconds max. I mean, I guess that doesn't really matter too much. It just depends what the value that the agent sees in that, right? So some agents that order Matterport, they might have buyers that come, for example, Sedona, right, is a market that we cover. But a lot of buyers for that market are coming from out of state. So Matterport gives an opportunity for them to obviously go through the property without having to fly and see. And we've actually talked to customers that have received offers because they did Matterport from out of state. But obviously it just depends on the customers, right? You can offer all these products, and all of our products are, some of them are popular, some of them are not very popular, but at least, give out those offerings to your customers. They're going to select what they feel is appropriate for theirs. Do you stay in contact with your customers? Are you educating them? Do you try to create packages to make it easier for them to do business with you, or are they having to check off all these? That's something that we changed up a few years ago. We have packages, and our packages are pretty popular. Is there a lot of value in your packages, right? Let's see. I've listened, watched, mixed reviews already, but overall seems to be good. All right. Most of it was, see everything become easier and easier. What time? So it's required less skillet. I can promise you next push camera is AI. Yeah, I can promise you the next push in cameras is AI in it. You know, that's going to be phenomenal. Like, it seems like people are scared about real estate photography, and it's just going to be an evolution of media. Like, you're just a media company. Like, you go out there as an expert in composition and how to help market a property via media. So maybe a push, like, it's super easy and there's AI doing stuff. Okay, but then go beyond. Like, what's your value beyond that, right? And I get excited about that, man. I wish there was a camera where you click it, dynamic range, crisp windows, like perfect. And I don't think we're too far from that. Maybe we are, because editing softwares can't even get it right very, very, very good. It still takes a lot of input from an editor to get those photos looking as good. Yeah. I think we're not too far away from AI really being able to identify windows. Because if you do like the masking in Lightroom, it's not even that good. Like, you can select based on luminosity, it gets the windows, but then it makes like the seams, like the window beams, inside the windows all dark, and it's just not a good end product. But yeah, I think so. The robots are taking our jobs. No. But then there's just new ways to create value is how I kind of see it. Aside from Lightroom being the go-to cataloger for photos, are there any other? You know what? Cataloger, that's an interesting way to put it, because that's the problem with a lot of these other programs that I have on here, which I have Luminar 4, Luminar AI, Luminar Neo. I've tried, what is some other ones? Sorry, I just wiped this computer and reset it. Photo something. I mean, I pretty much test all the different editing platforms, and that's the biggest problem. A lot of them aren't very good with the catalog. Like, you know how Lightroom has the library view and they load up pretty good. The other ones, not good. That's like, I feel like Luminar has it's pretty good. It has some good positives, but it makes editing a house so slow because the catalog is terrible and you can't quickly edit in batch or in bulk. Yeah, AI cameras. Yeah, that should be, yeah, I haven't seen or known of a camera that's coming out soon, like an AI camera, but yeah, I think in the coming years, I always thought, man, somebody needs to design a camera that is just like where you can select, all right, I'm doing portraits or I'm doing real estate photography, and then in the presets the camera knows like, okay, I'm identifying windows of this, so now I know. And yeah, because just like ChatGPT is so smart, it should be able to analyze millions of real estate photos and know, okay, that's a window beam, so I'm not gonna darken that. They should know what it should look like and be able to do it. I don't think we're too far away from that. Honestly, using ChatGPT, you feel like an iPhone moment, like, oh my gosh, this is a game changer. Like, what else is going on? But behind the scenes with some of these editing, I think there's a big opportunity there to push them further, because the evolution of the cameras, right? Like, I'm 40 years old now, so I remember when the first digital cameras were out, 3 megapixels. Now ones that do video, and now 4K, now 8K. My A1 does 8. They're just tools, and yeah, it's just the tools. You're a service provider, and you get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. So whether maybe a robot, you just take out of your car, and it takes perfect composition, goes through the house, maybe, I think we're a little far for that, maybe 10, 20 years, I don't know. Here we go. There is a program that will make folders for finished raw, catalog, and save. Hold on a second. I think I might missed something here. Aside from Lightroom, okay, we talked about the cataloger. Xavier says, how do I get started? I guess, Xavier, just expand on your question. Are you talking about just in real estate photography in general, or something else? Jeff, I'm excited. Yeah, man. I'm still hand cutting windows. Yeah. That's doesn't sound like fun to me. Just because I want that good look. Yeah. We don't catalog with Lightroom. The more catalogs you have loading, the slower it goes. So we save each catalog with the property on a NAS network. I think that's a network. Yeah, I have a Synology, big one too. But I don't like working off of it because it's not all SSDs and it's kind of slow. So when I put things on like a machine like this, or even the new Apple computers, the Silicon, which, my goodness, I wouldn't have spent all that money on these, which I have one right there and one over there. Yeah, M1 or M1, M2. I think they're on M2 right now. Phenomenal devices or computers. I have the MacBook Pro. Very fast. There is a program that will make folders for finished raw. Oh, okay. Catalog and save any directory with one push of a button. I'll post the name. Okay, sweet. I wonder if that's the case with Luminar Neo, since I have a decent but open. Yeah. They're like batch sky replacements is pretty good, but and their presets, there's like some good things about it, and even better than like Lightroom and Photoshop. But the sky replacements in Photoshop are just really good. You have a lot of, and fast. Anyways, actually, probably in the future ones, maybe we'll talk about different topics. Like one day we can just talk all about software, talk all about gear, talk all about, I don't know, something else like fitness. No, maybe not. All real estate photography related. So anyways, appreciate you guys joining. I'm at 57 minutes. Yeah, batch sky. Yeah, you're right. Depending on your sky, it can do pretty good, but it's not perfect by any means. Yeah. Yep. Anyways, sounds like you definitely take a lot of pride in the photos that you create. Yes. Oh, actually, sorry. Do a real estate. I think maybe I mentioned that at the very beginning. Yes, I'm rolling out. So this channel was Jordan Nilsson. It's now going to be Real Estate Photography Hub, and we're going to have a real estate photography podcast. And you guys will be able to answer questions, but it'll be a format where I'm talking to somebody, interviewing them, but then maybe, we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll do some live interviews. You guys can ask that person specific questions about their business. And then I actually like doing like Q&As like this, ask questions. Clearly, because I've probably made 300 or 400 videos on YouTube about answering real estate photography questions. Yeah, it's just something I'm passionate about. Yeah, so the whole movement of real estate photography / community, you guys can start by joining it. I just updated the YouTube, so on this channel, just right before I went live, there's a Discord server called Real Estate Photography Hub, brand new, just started. I think there's a handful of members already joining. So it's free community where we can interact and ask questions. It's not just me. It's like the community. And I'll have different, maybe I'll get some suggestions on people that you guys think I should interview in the real estate photography world. But yeah, I've done tons of interviews, so I'm gonna be doing that. Before I have had real estate pros. I don't know it's interviewing real estate agents about their story. But I basically want to do the similar thing, but just for real estate photographers. So the podcast, I'll syndicate to like the podcast app if you want to listen to audio. It'll be on the site, and I'll probably post it to Discord as well. So my goal really this year is just to kind of expand a little bit and just be a little bit more organized on how we're doing, and just to be able to maximize and help the most amount of people hit their goals in real estate photography. And I think you can get a lot further by leveraging the knowledge of others than by yourself, right? Anyways, that is it. We're at 1 hour and 32 minutes. Give this video a like if you're watching and you want to see more of this content these live Q&A sessions. And I'm going to be going live on our Discord server probably next week. I don't know if I'm going to be doing YouTube weekly. I don't really know, but I'm going to be doing some there, some here. And that's it for this one. I'm going to end this thing now. If I can figure out the end button on this live thing. Oh, I'm using Ecamm Live for those that are curious about how I make my videos efficiently and live stream. It is Ecamm Live, really like the product for Mac. So anyways, that's it for this one. Reach out if you have any questions. We'll see you guys on the next one.